Excellent. So this is Liftmetrix, basically your one-stop shop for content analytics. So it's really going to allow you guys to get a picture on how well your social content is performing across all of the social networks you're seeing here. So we've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. And this is a combined effort of both paid and organic. So my understanding from Pete is that you guys are spending a decent amount of money on social. So this is going to give you kind of the full picture when it comes to all of your social efforts. Now, what you're seeing here right now, high-level executive dashboard, this is ultimately going to calculate your return on investment from social. Now, on the top left, we're seeing a dollar value, so that's obviously useful for the e-commerce portion of a business, but we can also visualize this as more of a score. So just get rid of that dollar sign. Maybe it's a score out of 10 or higher, and what that score could represent would be, if what the value to you guys is link clicks. What we'll do is we'll calculate, based on industry standards and obviously the metrics that you guys value. We'll create a score that is meaningful to you in terms of your return on investment on social, the time, effort that you put in, and what your output is. So is that all making sense so far?
Yeah, it sounded good. I just actually lost the GoToMeeting connection there. Let me just try and get back in.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, refresh. We'll wait for you. Just holler when you're all set to go, Kevin.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, all right, I'm good to go. Thanks.
Cool. I see you popped up. Beauty. Cool. So just kind of moving forward, again, just touching on this very high level, nice piece to pass off to leadership and, really give them a good idea of kind of what your output versus input is. But for you guys, I imagine, kind of some more specific per content data is going to be pretty important. So what we're going to do here is actually give you an idea of all of your content and really what's going on each piece, so that you can ultimately learn what's performing the best, what's been the most successful to you, and continue to create content that's resonating with your fans and followers. So here we have a list of all of your content from Facebook. This could be ads, Twitter ads, so on, again, connecting to all of your social networks here. And what I've done is I've just filtered this out by engagement rate, looking at, what is my post that has brought about the most engagement. So let's just click in on this one here. We're seeing, again, pretty high level of engagement. So let's learn a little bit more about this post. Now, just drawing your attention to the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see we have a really nice post analysis. So this is going to give you guys a solid breakdown of, what's actually happening in terms of, engagement rate, likes, reactions. We can even go in and see, what are the impressions on that post, viral impressions, reach. And you'll see here, this is all broken out into organic and paid as well. So you can see, where those efforts are, actually having the most impact. Moving along too, we can see things like consumption. So this would be if videos were viewed, conversation would be like shares, and that's also broken down into a per 1,000 reached. So if you did want it to benchmark a couple different campaigns or different social channels, it gives you that per 1,000, which is nice. And then lastly here, we've got intent, which is more around, again, that e-commerce side of the business where people would be, clicking or even clicking on a buy button there at the end of the day. So this will connect to any sort of Google Analytics that you guys are using as well. So really ties in all of your paid, organic, as well as looking at, conversions as well. So just kind of want to take a pause, checkpoint here. What you're seeing so far, is this looking like, the type of metrics that you guys are looking for on a per post level?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you chime in as well, Wendy. But I mean, at the moment, Wendy runs a lot of reports on the posts that we send out through our channels, and I mean, a lot of these metrics we were already capturing using the analytical tools, either within Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. So I'm just trying to establish, I guess, what is the unique thing about the metrics in this platform versus the way we capture them at the moment?
Great question. So kind of first off the bat is, right now we're looking at Facebook, right? But this is going to pull in all of those social networks, again, including both the paid and organic efforts. So that's kind of the first piece. You're totally right. What I've shown you so far is very much, what you would see from Facebook Insights as well. But as we move along, you'll see kind of where the actual reporting capability comes in and tells, a bit more of a story here. So if you don't mind, I'll move forward, and hopefully that will kind of, demonstrate how this tool is going to differentiate from, just going through native Facebook today.
Sure.
Sound good?
Wendy, does that kind of sound good to you?
Yeah. Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So kind of the next layer on top of this is actually what you're seeing on the left-hand side of my screen. So this is, what we would call tagging. You'll see we've got a couple, couple form fields here for content tags, campaign tags, objective tags, so on. What these are is they're tags that actually live on the back end of your posts here and on your content. So nobody would ever see this on your channel. And what it allows you to do is to really kind of segregate all your different types of content. So say you guys ran a holiday campaign, for 2016, and you also ran a holiday campaign for 2017, maybe around the Christmas season. Anything that was related to, say, a 2016 holiday campaign post, what we could do is automatically attach a campaign tag that was like BC Ferries Holiday 2016, and then vice versa with the 2017 one, we could attach a tag for 2017. And then with these back-end tags, what we can then do is go and report on those two campaigns so that we can benchmark and compare which one actually outperformed or underperformed the other one. So it allows you guys to really kind of compare and contrast different portions of your content. So that's just a campaign example. That could be for content as well. So we could look at, how did photos perform compared to videos overall, or how did posts that we wanted people to click do compared to posts that we wanted people to view a video. So really kind of up to you on what you want to compare, but something to note here is that all of these tags are automated. It's all set up for you once you would launch onto the platform. So you wouldn't have to worry about, kind of any of the nitty-gritty setup of this. It's already all done for you based on kind of what you guys would be looking to report on, but allows you to report on different segments of your content. Does that make sense to you guys so far?
Yes, and I'm just related to the tags. Is it instead of just comparing, is there the opportunity to consolidate posts within a tag? So if there's a certain campaign, they were all related to a holiday, I want to know how all the holiday posts.
Yep, you totally got it, Wendy. So to give you an idea, so we'd actually just go into our report builder right here. And so as an example of one that we would compare and contrast, here we have in this example, what I've done is actually in my first segment is organic social, and my second segment is paid social. So this is giving me a really good breakdown of how organic did compared to paid. And naturally, we can see here the paid was significantly more, more engaging, more successful than was the organic content. Alternatively, we could just set up one segment, and that would be, all of your photo attached content or all of your holiday campaign content. So up to you on how you'd like to report on that, but it would look similar to this. As you can see here, the info is pretty comprehensive, and actually as we scroll down as well, you'll see we get a really nice breakdown visually of, that organic versus paid versus viral impressions, engagement, reactions, post types, so on. So getting pretty detailed at the content level on how well each segment has performed.
So you can post posts through here, schedule posts through here that would not necessarily be paid? Or is
so
it
all of your
ads?
Yeah, all of your scheduling and your publishing would be done exactly how you do it today. So what Liftmetrix does is it actually goes through and it scrapes the data natively from all of the social networks. So they've got quite good relationships with each of the social platforms, and it will go and pull that information from them. So you guys will continue to do all your publishing through Hootsuite, and we'll still pull in all the data directly through Liftmetrix.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, no worries. And same goes for the content and campaign tagging as well. If you did want to go and change them manually from what you have set up automatically, you could either do that through Hootsuite, or you could do it through here as well. So they do go quite hand in hand, and you don't have to worry too much about changing anything that you're doing today. It would all remain the same. This just enables you the capability to report at a kind of deeper level here.
Great.
Cool. So, what we've seen so far, obviously a lot of numbers, very kind of nitty-gritty data, but not necessarily relevant to everybody. I know we have, mixed groups of people on teams, and it's nice to see some reports and metrics in kind of plain English that everybody can really understand what's going on. So that's what the insights here is going to do for you, is it's going to put all of your results in regards to performance into plain English and really kind of explain the why each thing has happened. Why did we have shares increasing over time? Why did we have photos increasing over time? So giving you kind of a nice breakdown as to why each metric is what it is, and easy to digest information here. So you'll see this is a summary just for your Facebook pages overall. We can go down and look at engagement. We could look at e-commerce. We can look at video views. So it gets, again, very detailed on kind of each piece of your social networks here.
How does the e-commerce portion of that work?
Yeah, good question. So again, this would be connected to to your Facebook page, to your Facebook ads page. So anytime that you had like a call to action that was clicking on a buy button, in addition to that, it would connect with any sort of Google Analytics that you have set up, any of those GA codes. So what it will do then is pull in that data on how many people clicked that buy now button.
Okay.
Now, do you guys have e-commerce on the BC Ferries page today?
We don't at the moment, but it's something that we're kind of looking to kind of get to.
Okay, good to know. And in terms of Google Analytics, do you guys track web traffic at the moment?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that portion would be integrated in here. And so, today you're not doing the e-commerce portion, so maybe you would be more interested in looking at things like link clicks or email signups and those types of, obviously valuable actions. That being said, as you were to move towards a more e-commerce driven strategy, we can change, obviously how you visualize the data, so it's relevant to obviously what's important to you guys.
So is a value assigned to particular action? So, email sign up is worth X amount, and then that incorporated in the ROI?
Yep, totally. So that's how we would come up with that score. So our launch team will basically work with you specifically to say, what metrics are important to you guys, what actually is a measure of success for your team at BC Ferries. So if that's sign up, and then what we can do is from there, we'll calculate a score based on, so maybe let's say, a link click is worth X, an email sign up is worth Y, a share is worth Z, and then total that to create a score. And that will also, the launch team will help you with that based on kind of what's important to you, as well as typical industry standards and some of your historical data as well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So kind of from here, we've looked at obviously kind of the more numbers side of things. We've looked at, putting that into plain English, but then there's kind of the what's next. Once we have this information, what's that really doing for us? Liftmetrix here is actually going to spit out those recommendations for you specifically. So really taking the guesswork out of your day based again on, historical data, how well your content is performing. It's going to recommend, what is the ideal number of posts per day? What is the recommended mix of content? So did people really respond to photos? Did they really respond to videos? In this scenario here, obviously out of the ideal mix is 2 links and 2 photos to make up the 4 posts. So good to know there, as well as things like recommended time of day, recommended character length for your post, and lastly, what tags were performing the best. So again, that could be, a particular campaign. Maybe it's throwing up that holiday campaign did really well. That's a recommended tag. Let's do one of those again in 2017. So again, taking that guesswork out of your day, really making sure that you guys are spending your ideal amount of time on social and not any more than you need to. Do you think something like this would be pretty valuable today, or what are your thoughts so far?
What do you think, Wendy?
Well, I do think, I think it would be a big time saver, especially for getting an overview of particular campaigns. A lot of the work that I do is manual to get the same kind of results that this platform's offering, but it takes a lot more time, and I really do like how it's giving you the recommended tips and giving you a really quick overview of what's performing the best. And then you can do some A/B testing, like applying the recommendations and then seeing how that performs. So yeah, it looks really good. I think what it comes down for us is budget for one thing, and then also looking toward the future in terms when we do implement more, having more online commerce available, then there might be more justification for us for such a program.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's really good feedback, and I would say we actually have probably a good mix of clients using this tool today that are obviously very e-commerce driven, but we have a good handful as well. I'd say it's almost a 50-50 mix of people who don't even have an e-commerce platform, but do really care about their content strategy, spend a lot on marketing campaigns, and need the ability to at the end of the day report on those campaigns in a meaningful manner. So it's great feedback to hear, and definitely something that I imagine as you guys do move towards more of an e-commerce strategy would obviously provide more and more value.
Definitely.
So just before we talk a little bit more about Adespresso, there's one last piece of the Liftmetrix platform that I wanted to show you, and that's in regards to some brand comparisons here. So we call it competitors, but this could be anybody that's an aspirational brand, or anybody that you just want to see how well they're stacking up. So in this example, we just got a bunch of airlines here summarizing how well they're performing in terms of fans. We can also go down and see, how well they're doing in terms of engagement. But what it really comes down to is, we've got, say we're Qatar Airways, but, Emirates is just a step ahead of us. Why are they that step ahead of us? Well, what we can actually do is learn a little bit more about their content strategy and why it is the way it is. So here we go. We have, for Facebook, we've got some more info on audience, what that looks like over time. These are their top pieces of content, so we can go in and learn a little bit more about those. In addition to that, we've got that summary of engagement, as well as, what if their content is performing the best in terms of their content strategy today. And we can also take a look at this in more of a mixed overview of content, what content out of all of our competitors is outperforming. If we wanted to go learn a little bit more about that, we can always click in and see what's happening there.
Oh yeah, cool.
Do you guys do any benchmarking today against any brands or competitors?
Just within Facebook Insights, looking at the pages there and then seeing what it gives you a top line of their engagement and page growth and what their top performing posts are. So I do refer to that. And Iconosquare as well, just that a little bit for Instagram.
Good to know. Awesome. Cool, yeah. So this would just kind of bring it all into that one platform for you, allow you to kind of aggregate that information all in one.
That looks nice.
All right, thank you.
No worries. So obviously I know we talked about Adespresso as well, so I'd love to just give you kind of a sneak peek into what the platform looks like. Now, curious though, just before we dive in, what % of your strategy today or what % of your content today do you guys actually put money behind when it comes to social ads?
On Facebook, it's like pretty much 100% of anything we put on there is boosted. Very little is organic. On Twitter, though, just for the main campaigns that we run, we promote probably only, I would say, 3% is promoted that I would promote outside of, we work with media experts to promote our larger campaigns on that platform. And then Instagram, just very new, but still, maybe 5% paid on Instagram right now. But that platform does perform well for us for paid.
Okay, good to know. Actually, I think I've seen on my own Instagram a couple BC Ferry sponsored posts come out, so it's working. So kind of around, Wendy, you mentioned that you boost pretty much all of your Facebook posts now. Are any of that portion of money spent creating new ads, or is it all, kind of let's see how well that organic performed and then put money behind it? What's kind of the workflow there?
Yeah, well, anything, we develop mainly our branded content, and we know that we're going to put that up regardless how it performs, but I'll put it up and I'll leave it usually about 3 hours to get its organic interest on it, and then I'll boost it after that based on what kind of result it's had. So if it's or if it's gone sideways for some reason, then I won't promote it.
Okay, cool. No, that's good. That's really great to know. And I think this is where, Adespresso and a tool like Liftmetrix really go hand in hand, is that, say you go post that piece of content, you wait kind of your 3 to 5 hours, go take a look in Liftmetrix, see how well it performs, what kind of audience engagement it's getting, and then you get to jump back into the Hootsuite dashboard and actually put some money behind it. So that's really what Adespresso is going to help you do. It's going to help you boost your posts directly through Hootsuite. So giving you an idea how this is done, so I've got my timeline here. This is just my test page, so I can actually pay for it. But you'll see here I've added a BC Ferries post, and say we see this one, romantic retreat, sounds pretty awesome. It's performing really well. What we're going to do is we're going to go send it to Adespresso. So just give her a second to load up. And what it actually does is it's going to pull up this screen, and in a easy 6 steps here, you're going to be able to put some money behind that post, including doing any sort of split testing that you'd like to do. So allowing you to test some of those audience segments to see what is outperforming. So once we create a campaign name, select our ad account, we're just going to go proceed. Here we have the option to select what type of ad we want to run. So desktop ad, mobile feed, right column. For the sake of the demo, let's just do mobile and desktop. If you guys are using a Facebook pixel, you can also attach that to do some tracking there as well. And once we get that set up, we're going to hit proceed. And here's where you get to select your audience members. So maybe in this scenario, let's target Canada. Let's spell it right here. And maybe we want to do the United States as well, people that might be traveling to BC. And maybe we want to target people from the ages of 40 to 60. So just giving us a couple options there. As we go proceed, we'll get to move to the split testing. So I'm sure you guys are familiar, but the split testing in Facebook Ads Manager can be a little bit tedious. I understand you have to, kind of create each segment individually. This allows you with just a couple clicks here. You'll see on the bottom left that our number of ads is actually going up exponentially. So what this allows us to do is create those 32 ads just in a matter of clicks and go proceed so that we can actually split test all of those audiences. Lastly, we get to put some money behind it. So let's say $40 per day, run it for a week, and maybe our spend cap is $500. And as we go proceed, we'll get a nice summary of what's happening here with the ad we've created, and then we can publish it to Facebook. And that is how you boost a post with Adespresso directly through Hootsuite. So pretty easy, as you saw there, to do that split testing as well. Only took about a minute. And once that's all set up, it will actually land in the app where we can then kind of track things like spend, impressions, click through, and so on. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's definitely simplified. I see, the same as Facebook Ad Manager. I can see how that's pulled right from Facebook Ad Manager, but it's definitely simplified and a lot quicker to set up than going through Ad Manager.
Totally. Yeah. No, that's good to hear, and that's really what we're going for there. To give you some transparency, actually. So Adespresso is actually the #1 player on ads globally. So they're the most widely used ad platform, and obviously Hootsuite identified that early in the game here. So nice to really have them on board as a partner, and like Pete said, moving the integration forward here. So to give you an idea as well, this is kind of basic level data that we get directly through Hootsuite. But as we go to the Adespresso app directly, there's some more detailed analytics in here. So you can have those reports on your ad campaign sent directly to your inbox if you'd like. Monitor, obviously, the information that you guys care about. We can add some optimization in here as well. So if an ad is performing really well, we can set up a rule that, once it's at a certain cost per click, or once it's at a certain engagement rate, that it will automatically, put more or less money behind it. So there's some nice features in there just to really, at the end of the day, save you guys some time and get the most bang for your buck.
Is there the capability to schedule a promotion? So we want to promote something. Okay, yeah, so I'm not having to do that part, like do the manual part in advance, saying, I want this ad to be scheduled to go to 3, but then I want this promotion to happen at 5.
So are you talking about boosting or creating like a dark boost? So the boosting at the moment, scheduling is not available. So we can schedule for a new ad, which is where what you'd be seeing here, and creating that through the Adespresso app. But boosting, that's something that's on the roadmap, but it's not available at the moment.
Okay.
Definitely something we can keep you guys posted on, though. It's obviously kind of goes hand in hand with Hootsuite. Is if you were to create your ad or your post organically, and then be able to boost that 3 hours later or so, that would be kind of the ideal scenario. So yeah, something that we do have in the works.
And what about other types of ad formats that are available on Facebook, like the carousel ads, for example, or specific call to action ads?
Yeah, so when you are creating those new ads, these are the options you have. So we could do like the external website, right-hand column, lead gen, dynamic product, brand awareness. These get more detailed as well. We've got the mobile app install as well as event ads, and carousel is an option as placement.
Okay.
Where is that placement, the carousel? Is it listed there?
Oh yeah, it's as we go through the steps, it would actually show up in the next step here once we go through the ad building process.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted, because we do every month we'll do a carousel ad to support a big BC verification campaign that we have in the market. So it would be important that the tool had that component to it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it is definitely in there. And one thing to just kind of note here is that this is pretty much the actual ad building capability of Adespresso is pretty much pulled directly from Facebook ads. So everything in terms of like nomenclature and all that stuff should look the same. However, it is in terms of like the building it, there's a couple things that might not be in the exact place that you would expect. So as you see with carousel, we have to go through a couple steps of the process to see it, but it certainly is there.
Okay. So the main benefit then of Adespresso is pulling the capability to put dollars behind posts to within Hootsuite. So it's an ease of use kind of service that you're paying for. Is that accurate?
Yep, you got it. So
okay.
Between that and obviously, the time savings in the split testing as well, and the time savings in things like the automation and optimizing the ads, those are kind of the key pieces. But yeah, ultimately be looking at a time savings here.
Okay. That's good, makes sense.
Cool. One last kind of piece of this puzzle as well, I'm not sure if you guys are doing this today, but with your Hootsuite dashboard, what we can actually do then is go to Facebook and say we go to our travel test page here. Oops, we want to go into stream, and we can go and monitor all of those unpublished posts that you guys do create. So, kind of just adding that last piece to your ads dashboard would be monitoring what you have created that's in the unpublished posts.
So these are posts that have yet to go out, but we just kind of have them on the side there, kind of keep them front of mind kind of thing?
So unpublished posts are the ones that you would create directly through Adespresso, like these ones here. So they're those dark posts. Basically allows you guys to create ads that you can target to different audience segments, but that won't appear on your newsfeed.
Okay.
So just again, kind of adding that targeting piece to your ads. So if you did want to target, say, males and females aged 50 and over on Facebook who are interested in travel, you could target that audience with this dark post or unpublished post, we also call it. And then what you can then do is once it's technically published to Facebook, but it just doesn't land on your news feed. So that's why we call it the unpublished post.
Okay, makes sense.
Cool. So there was one last piece I had set up to show you, which is in line with deep listening and monitoring. So Pete was mentioning to me that you guys are using Hootsuite Insights today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. And now, along with kind of monitoring the social and digital conversations, do you guys also monitor print and traditional media?
Our public relations team does.
PR does. Okay. So you guys do more the social side, and PR does the print and traditional side.
Yes.
Cool.
Except for what media shares on social.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. So just to kind of give you some insight, so we actually have recently partnered with another deep listening tool recently called Talkwalker. And Pete and I were actually just showing this to another good friend of ours at the city of Surrey. They do a lot of monitoring on digital and traditional media. So that's the really cool thing about Talkwalker is it's going to be able to pull both into one place. And, just giving you guys kind of a sneak peek so you know it's on your radar. But Talkwalker is, again, one of those tools that's going to be able to pull in the conversation around, the brand, the BC Ferries brand, who's talking about BC Ferries across, not only social, but digital and print and broadcast. So as you're seeing here in this example for the city of Surrey, we get this really nice kind of view of results over time. But say we had, a big spike, maybe there was a potential crisis and we see a big spike in mentions. This is going to allow you the ability to actually drill down onto that conversation and learn more about what's going on. So here we see, we've actually got a couple things that probably we could filter out from Pakistan, but as we go in, we can look at the top themes and learn a little bit more about, why there was a spike in mentions. In this scenario, it looks like it wasn't any sort of risk posed. There might just be, kind of a spam account going through. But really allowing you guys the opportunity to identify any sort of risks or, if there was a big campaign and there was a big spike in conversations happening around that, obviously good to identify those as well. Through here, this is also going to allow you to do things like analyze sentiment, observe influencers. So who are people that are obviously, influential in the media and talking about, BC Ferries, or in this case, again, the city of Surrey. So it gives you a really nice breakdown of what's going on there as well. So just kind of wanted to give you a sneak peek into this. It's, comparable to Hootsuite Insights, but does pull in more data sources and does have, a little bit more capability when it comes to the drill down and filtering conversations out. So always like to kind of share with you what we have, upcoming as partnerships with Hootsuite.
Does TalkWalker capture mentions on Facebook within the comment section?
It does, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really the full gamut. It'll pull in all of Instagram as well, so you could identify Instagram influencers if you wanted. Some of the nice things that I really like about it, I did kind of give you an idea of what the drill down capability looks like, but the nice thing is you can really visualize information in any kind of format you want. So I know some of these tools, they're a little bit, they can be clunky sometimes, but this is really nice. Like if I wanted to see this, as a line chart, or if I wanted to see this as a column chart, for example, I could do that as well. Here it's not very useful, but it gives you the opportunity to present the information to the team in a way that's, meaningful to those individuals, because obviously everybody sees results differently.
And is there the capability to develop reports?
Yeah, there absolutely is. So I'll just give you kind of a sneak peek into that as well here. Just give it a sec to load.
Yeah, Wendy, the reason that we kind of want to showcase this to you as well, this is kind of the next step our customers are taking from Hootsuite Insights. Hootsuite Insights, by far, very easy to, social listening tool to use, very simple to set up. This takes it kind of to the next level, a lot more functionalities. So that's, if you guys are looking to grow, I know you have a new president. That's did they already step in? I know your last president kind of left a couple months ago.
He hasn't left, no.
Yeah, he's sticking around until the end of March. Yeah.
Oh, until then, okay. Well, sometimes when there's change management, they always like a lot more reports and getting kind of a baseline where things are. So this was just kind of that preview of the next step you could take with analytics.
Now, so in my mind, I'm comparing this with the Hootsuite Insights then. So, right, with Hootsuite Insights, we set up, the different channels and with monitoring particular keywords. Is that available in this? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's based off of the same logic, which is the Boolean logic searches. So it's very much that and/or search. But that's where TalkWalker really kind of shines above and beyond Insights. It's a much more complex search capability. So say you wanted to see, who's talking about BC Ferries, and then you wanted to see who's talking about BC Ferries in and around 5 words of, say the word, Vancouver Island. You can really kind of get more granular into how you set those searches up. It also has location-based searching, so you could go look at, who's talking about BC Ferries on Vancouver Island and who's talking about BC Ferries in Vancouver. So it's kind of, it's pretty easy to set up, but gets a lot more detailed into the types of conversations that you can search for.
So would the idea be to replace, we currently do that kind of reporting with Insights. Would the idea be to replace Insights with TalkWalker and use that as the primary tool?
Exactly. Yeah, that would be the ideal. You wouldn't really need both.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to give you kind of an idea on what the reports can look like and some of that additional information, I know, Wendy, you asked about this. This would be an example of a report here. So on this one, we've got share of sentiment, gender, top languages. We also get, again, those results over time. Here we have the results over time split out by media type. So again, we're seeing that TV, radio, print news. So some of that traditional media included in here, as well as I really love this because, again, if if there was maybe a crisis, we might want to see some of those themes decreasing. If there was, again, some sort of, maybe the initiation of the new president, we would want to see kind of something like that trending. So nice way to visualize conversations happening in and around BC Ferries. Again, we get that nice influencer overview and some of those top influencers. So you can really customize these reports in any way you want, pretty drag and drop. In addition, we could set this up so it lands in your inbox, you know, weekly, daily, monthly, however you want to see it.
All right.
What do you guys think of TalkWalker, you know, based on kind of the quick little sneak peek we've given you today?
I'm just looking at it in comparison to like Wendy pulls together a top line social media summary at the end of each month, and one of the reports was on sentiment, and I'm just looking at a lot of the metrics within that report, you know, and it just seems to me to be the same information presented in a slightly different way, graphically. Like I'm just
yeah, I mean,
the key difference between the two tools.
Sure. So I totally hear what you're saying, and so kind of the main piece to TalkWalker is it does pull from more sources. So we would set up a stream, and you would likely see more mentions coming through around BC Ferries in TalkWalker. In addition to that is it allows you that drill down functionality. So again, say we're looking at the mentions and we see, you know, a spike or a dip on a certain day, then we can go drill down to those conversations rather than going back and setting up a filter. So just kind of ease of use. Same thing as we can then kind of filter things out. So like right now we're looking at mentions, but maybe we wanted to look at mentions sorted by media type. Then it's going to filter it out like that for us. So it's just kind of that next level to listening. Same thing could go for sentiment, right? So say we want to see sentiment, but we want to see sentiment by media type. We can filter it out that way. Or maybe we want to see sentiment by countries and regions. We can drill down like that. So it's just kind of that next layer onto what you're seeing in insights, in addition to the fact that, you know, on top of the you know, the reporting capabilities and all of that, that it does include the traditional media as an added bonus, and that the Boolean searching is a much more refined system than what you're seeing today in Insights.
Okay, and when you say traditional media, I mean it's traditional media mentions through social, right? Like, I mean, it's not capturing obviously print publications.
Yeah, so traditional media in TalkWalker would be broadcast. So you get radio broadcast and TV broadcast, as well as print magazine, print news, and other print.
Oh, okay.
Your traditional media.
Okay, good.
So it's potentially a tool that we could share with the public relations department, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. Ultimate goal here with having that additional capability of the traditional media is to just kind of, you know, reduce the number of tools that you guys are using, have everything in one place.
In terms of sentiment with Insights, you know, it shows you every mention and then it breaks it down as to which sentiment it is, and then you have the capability of changing that if it doesn't apply. Yep. Does that capability exist in here?
It sure does, and the one kind of added bonus of this as well is that, so I'll just kind of give you some ideas to what that looks like. So sentiment on a per post level is through this little flag here. So we've got yellow, which is neutral, green, which is positive, and red, which would be negative. But as I'm sure you're familiar, sentiment within Hootsuite Insights is based off of an algorithm. So it'll look at things like unhappy and love and happy to kind of determine whether sentiment should be positive or negative. Now, within TalkWalker, what you can actually do, so we see this occasionally, you know, the computer's smart and the algorithm's smart in identifying that, but it's not perfect. So say you're, you know, a hospital foundation and we see the word sick or disease or something like that coming up a lot. Typically, those are flagged as negative sentiment, right? So if you're a business like that and we see those kind of key terms, that's really gonna kind of ruin our sentiment analysis. So what TalkWalker actually does is it allows you to input your own words and determine their own sentiment if there were a scenario such as that. So if there was a word that came up frequently for you guys that was flagged as negative, but really it was neutral or vice versa, we could always go through and change that. So there's this kind of like, you know, I'm sure you guys are hearing this, but kind of that additional layer on top of what you guys would currently be seeing with Hootsuite Insights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there
and I think also sorry.
Oh, sorry. I think there's a slight delay. Sorry. Is there a possibility that we could, like, let's say, take Adespresso and this tool and like play with it over like a 2-week period and see if we like it?
That is, we wish we could, but we don't do free trials. I mean, we do paid trials. So, for example, I would say 2 weeks is really a pretty small amount. You'd want probably a couple months, but we can do something short term for that to really give it a try, because I think that's a very smart approach to it.
Yeah, I mean,
If you guys are,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, to add to your point there, Kevin, I know right now, TalkWalker, we're just showing you kind of an example with the city of Surrey. I'd be happy to put together a report for the BC Ferries and send that off to you guys, just so you can get an idea of the type of information that we'd collect. So if you guys have, a particular Boolean search set up in Insights, I'd be happy to take that, plug it into TalkWalker, and then you guys can compare and contrast what you have today.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
That would be nice.
Wendy?
Yeah, I think so. I'd love to see that, yeah.
I was also going to add, Wendy, I'm not sure if you have good contact with the PR department, but maybe we get a sample report on their end, what they use, or what they present around traditional media, to see, if we can supplement what they use with something like this. Would that be possible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll reach out and see. I'm sure they'd be interested to have a look.
Yeah, and the reason I think we're all excited about TalkWalker here is just the added capabilities around Instagram and Facebook as well, compared to Insights, on top of kind of everything else we talked about, which are really becoming like those key channels for almost any organization.
Yeah, I use TalkWalker already, just, the free tool with the email alerts, and I am a fan of it. It picks up a lot more mentions than any other tool that I've used, so I do have some confidence in it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so in terms of budget, what's the difference between TalkWalker and the Insights, for example?
It's broken up a little bit differently. So Hootsuite Insights is based on streams, so how many search streams you can make. Whereas TalkWalker is about volume of mentions. So if you're big organizations, you might be getting, 1 million mentions or 100,000 mentions. So we just kind of have to get a bit of a sense of what that may be. I mean, what I can do is maybe we can set up a call for later this week, maybe just a quick 15 half-hour call, and we can go through the pricing of all three, and I can lay out what the different mentions, because all three are kind of like Adespresso, Liftmetrix, TalkWalker. They're just priced differently. So would that work for you? I mean, I even have my calendar up right now if we want to just book something quick so we can walk through it.
Yeah.
Like even tomorrow afternoon, maybe 3:30 or 3 p.m. again.
That works for me.
Tomorrow's a bit of a busy day for me, as is the rest of the week. Unfortunately, we've got a new vessel arriving. But Wendy, maybe if you want to take the call, and then you can update me
sure.
After the fact.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Sounds
so tomorrow
good, Wendy.
afternoon for me.
Cool. Well, let's set it for 3. I'll send you a little cal invite as usual, and I'll have that broken out, and we'll go through it.
Okay, sounds great.
Awesome. All right. Well, any kind of last questions here in our 6 minutes that are left in our call?
No, I suppose myself and Wendy will chat offline about it. But I mean, looking at the 3 tools, like the ones that have piqued my interest the most, to be honest, are Adespresso and TalkWalker. I mean, it doesn't rule out Liftmetrix, but if we can maybe get an idea on some pricing around Talkwalker, and then I think it would be really helpful if we could see that report, Heather, that you were talking about, just to see, you know, what the differences are with this tool. I think that would be great.
Sure. Yeah, and just kind of you know, a thought on that, Kevin. If Wendy, if you wouldn't mind, maybe even emailing Pete or myself, you know, a search query that would be kind of typical or of interest to you guys, then I can plug that into Talkwalker and get that to you by the end of the week.
Sure, I'll do that right after this call.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
Great. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hopping on this call. I know we kind of inundate you a little bit more than I think was on the agenda, but we're pretty excited. So yeah, we'll sync up tomorrow and answer kind of those further questions and take it from there.
Sounds good. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. It's good to meet you.
Oh, by the way, when's the new vessel launching?
So we're hoping to have it in service kind of in April. So that will be the Salish Orca. We've got 3 new vessels arriving, the Salish Orca, the Eagle, and the Raven, and the Orca is the first one. So that's going to be in service hopefully in April in time for the spring and summer season.
And is that Vancouver Island routes?
Yeah, so that's going to be going Comox to Powell. Is it Comox to Powell River? Yeah, it is. So that's going to be Route 17, Comox to Powell River, and then the 2 other vessels will be in and amongst the Southern Gulf Islands.
Wow. Awesome. Well, we might be riding one of those this summer. Cool. All right, everyone. Have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.